What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Week 4 NFL Tournament Plays DraftKings video presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoney. At ShipMyMoney's. And as a reminder, click the link below to claim up to a $100 first match deposit bonus with Prize Picks. We're going to take a look at 3 of the top tournament stacks on DraftKings using the top stacks tool on the Stokastic.com website for Week 4 large field tournaments. Starting at number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers are hosting the New York Jets. This is obviously not a very appealing stack to get to in terms of confidence. Mitchell Trubisky is not a very good quarterback. He doesn't make you feel good clicking his name, but they are only projected for 4% ownership with a 4% chance of being the top stack. They have a 22.5 implied point total. They're 3.5 point favorites against the Jets. And there is a lot of upside here because of the talent in the receiving core for the Steelers, combined with the just lack of salary. They're very inexpensive. Trubisky costs $5,100. Deontay Johnson leads the way amongst receivers at $6K. But behind him, you have cheap price tags on Claypool, on George Pickens, on Pat Freiermuth. If the passing game succeeds here, it's gonna be there's a lot of value available from an upside standpoint. Obviously, that passing game is not going to succeed all that often because Trubisky's not very good. But when it does, you are going to be able to build very, very strong lineups around these Steelers stacks, and they're very low owned. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. The Bills have a 27-point implied total. Josh Allen is projected for 12% ownership. The stack has a 16% chance of being the top scoring stack. They are 3-point favorites on the road against the Ravens. This is a more expensive stack with Josh Allen costing $8,400. Stephon Diggs is $8,400. Gabriel Davis is $6,600. He's questionable. If he doesn't play, then the receiving core gets a little bit muddy behind Diggs, but they also get a little bit cheaper. You can take some dart throws on those guys. But Allen, always one of the highest upside quarterbacks on the slate. Easily compare him with Diggs, one of the highest upside receivers. Find value elsewhere. They're going to be popular, but they are still projected to go a bit under owned. And number 1, the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Cleveland Browns. Not the Cleveland Guardians, as I wanted to call them, but hosting the Cleveland Browns, 1-point underdogs with a 23-point implied total. Marcus Mariota is $5,600. Not the greatest passer, but he does give you rushing upside. He does have a talented receiving core, so it's easy to see how there's a lot of potential in this stack. Mariota is projected for 6% ownership. The stack has a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack. In addition to Mariota, pretty cheap receiving options. Drake London coming in at $6,100. Kyle Pitts at $5K. Drawing a huge target share for Atlanta this year. It hasn't really translated into fantasy success yet, but more than likely will sooner rather than later. So this is another spot similar to Pittsburgh where you can still get a high ceiling, relatively low chances of success, but a high ceiling, cheap stack. And if they do succeed, you'll have some very, very high upside lineups because of what you're able to build around them. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks on DraftKings: number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers; number 2, the Buffalo Bills; and number 1, the Atlanta Falcons.